Hi Sowis and aspiring Sowis, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Doyen, and in this tutorial video I'm going to be taking you through the sewing process of how to achieve these Amapiano joggers you're seeing on your screen. In the last tutorial video I took you guys through the cutting process of how we're able to achieve this. So if you've not seen that video, I'm going to be attaching the link to the comment section so you can go back to watch the cutting process. So kindly stay tuned and watch this video to the end. So the first step here is to unravel our fabric piece. So I did that so I don't misplace any part of my fabric. So I'm just going to separate the ones that I do not need for now. Basically, we're going to be working with the front part of our pants. So this is one side, and then I'm going to pick the other side of the pants. So basically, we're going to be joining around the flap area. That is the crotch, which is what you can see on your screen. So I'm just going to sew from here downward. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So this is where the main work is going to be. So the first step here is to measure the distance from the top side of the pants to where the design is going to be starting from. So from the top part of the pants, I measured 4.5 inches. So at this point, you can try to use your invisible marker just so that it doesn't leave a dent on your fabric. But I'm working with a pen actually. Now in a situation whereby your flap is shorter compared to mine, then you can reduce the length to 4 inches. Then on this side, I'll come in by 5 inches and mark a point. Then on this other side as well, I'll come in by 5 inches. So this is me creating the margin where the design is going to stop. So again, I'm going to come on this side to measure 5 inches just so that it can be clearer. On this other side again, I'm going to measure 5 inches. So from the side of my pants, I'm going to come in by 2 inches from the side, just as seen in this video. So I'm just going to be connecting these dots together. So when I get to this point, you can either use your French cuff to form a curve, but I'm just going to be using my free hand. So from this point, once I'm approaching the marked line, I'm just going to form a curve towards it, just as I am doing here. So on the other side again, I'm going to come in by 2 inches just like we did previously, and then I'm going to be connecting the dots together. So these 2 inches also includes the sewing allowance. So by the time I'm done sewing, what will be left with will be around 1.5 inches. So while approaching the marked line here as well, I'm going to mark a curve towards the line. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the invisible candle to highlight what I want to mark. So once I'm done highlighting, I'm just going to go ahead to trace the lines with my pen. So just make sure that the part where you're going to be curving is measured as 5 inches on each side. So you can see that it is measured at 5 inches each. So now that we have the shape of what we want, we can now go ahead to start forming our designs. So the design is going to start from the ankle area of your joggers. So we're going to pick it up from the down part of the joggers. So basically the taping band is going to be placed on the marked line. So I'm just going to be following the line accordingly. Once you're able to get the lines right, you've made the job easier for yourself. So all you just need to do is just follow the line carefully. So if you're interested in registering for any of our online courses, we have about 6 courses available and they are beginners friendly. So if you're interested, just send a DM to the number on your screen. So once you're done with the first stitch, the next thing will be to sew the second stitch. So we're going to pick it up from the down part again and then sew towards the other end. So once you're done with the first layering, you're going to go ahead to do the second layering. Now in a situation whereby your layering is just going to be 2, the distance between the first and the second layering is going to be 1 inch. But in a situation whereby it is 3 layers, the distance between each of the layering is going to be 0.5. So you can see that what I am measuring here is measured as 0.5. So I'm just going to maintain the same 0.5 towards from this point towards the other end. I'll also repeat the same thing for the third layering. Now I'm going to repeat again. In a situation whereby your layering, that's the design, the lines is just going to be two like what you are seeing on your screen. The distance between the first and the second layering is going to be measured at 1 inch. But in a situation whereby your design, your layering is on 3 lines, then the distance between each of the layering is going to be 0.5. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to follow the same shape of what we have done previously, just as seen in this video, and then I'll take it all down. So this is the same thing I'm going to repeat for the third layering. This is the same step I'm going to follow. The distance between my second layering to my third layering is going to be measured as the same 0.5. But just like I explained, in a situation whereby your layering is just 2, then you want to make it wider, and then you want to expand it by 1 inch. So following the shape of what we already have, I would curve it around here, just as seen in this video. And in a situation whereby you're not sure of your stitching and everything, you can actually mark. You can mark it. So while marking, just leave an allowance of 0.5 in between your lines. But to be honest with us, I just make it 0.75 because of the extra allowance from the taping band. But if you're going to be doing it this way, just maintain your 0.5. So after making the first stitch, I'm going to go ahead with the second stitch. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to go on with the third layering. So this is what the third layering looks like. So the next thing I'm going to be doing here is to attach the side pockets. The next thing I'm going to do here is to position my side pocket like this, just as seen in this video. Then from this point, I'm going to measure 2.5. Then from that 2.5, I'm going to come down by another 6.5. So this 6.5 is going to be the allowance for the entrance of my pocket. So I'm going to just create a line that I am going to be sewing on. So after sewing, you want to notch slightly at the top side, and then you want to notch slightly at the bottom side. So after that, then you turn this over to the right face. Next, you have to pin on it so that it can be properly aligned together. So after that, we are going to go ahead to top stitch on the pocket. Now, do not make the top stitching tiny. So the allowance for your stitch should be around 0.25 or 0.5. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So the next thing to do is to flip to the other side and then fold your pocket just like this. After that, then you want to pin your pocket together with the main part of your fabric. Next, you're going to make a double reversal at the top side and also at the down side. So after sewing, you should have it looking like this. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side as well. Next thing here is to arrange the side pocket. So the pocket is going to be positioned towards the front part, and then each pocket will be facing each other. So I'm just going to go ahead to pin at the top side so that it doesn't detach itself. So I'm going to also do the same thing on the other side, making sure that it is facing each other. So after that, I'm going to go ahead to weave the down part of my pocket. I'm also going to repeat the same thing on the other side as well. So the next thing I'm going to do here is to pick a side from the back and connect it with a side from the front. So basically, the front parts will be facing each other, just as seen in this video, and then I'm going to sew. So while sewing, make sure that you're not sewing on the pockets. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side, connecting the other part of the back side together with the front side. So the next thing after that is we're going to be connecting the crotch at the back side together. Next after that is to connect the crotch joining together. So just make sure that you pin it so that it doesn't alternate. So after that, the next thing is to check the alignment of your inseam if it aligns together. If it does, then you are good to go. But if there is any excess, just feel free to trim whatever excess that you have. But while doing that, just make sure that you are not stretching your fabric. So once that is in check, the next thing you want to do here is to sew straight down. Next after that, I'm going to just weave the down part of my pants. So if you're using your taping machine to fold, you don't need to do all this. So I'm just going to weave it around and also do the same thing on the other side as well. And I'm doing this because I am going to be folding it. So the next thing here is I'm going to measure what I have on my waist circumference. So whatever I have here will determine what I am going to be working with for the waistband. So what I have measured here is 26 inches. So this is what I'm going to be working with for the waistband. So I'm going to be joining the pieces together. So if our waist circumference is measured as 26 inches, I'm going to be adding half-inch allowance. So what we're going to measure here will be 26.5. That is on a fold like this. So I'm going to go ahead to join the waistband. So the next thing here is I'm going to be stretching the elastic band to fit into what is on the circumference of the waistband. So like I would always say, the stretchiness of the elastic differs. So it is best when you stretch it to fit into the circumference of your waistband. So what I have measured here is about 17 inches. So I'm just going to double stitch here. So the next thing to do here is to insert the elastic into the actual band and then sew round. So while sewing, make sure that you are not holding on to the elastic. So once you're done sewing, the next thing will be to circulate the elastic around the waistband. So your straight sewing machine, you're going to be making a double stitch on your waistband. So while sewing, you're going to be stretching together with the elastic band so that it can grip properly. So the allowance for the stitch should be around 0.5 or 0.75. So basically I'm going to be stretching while I sew. Once I'm done with the first stitch, I'm going to take over on the second stitch. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. This is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to be doing here is to attach this around my waistband. As a sewist, the next thing you want to do is to locate the joining on your waistband and then connect it with the back joining on the main body and then pin it down, after which you proceed to sewing around the waist circumference. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead to weave the inner part. The final thing here will be to fold the down part of my trouser. So I'm just going to do this around and repeat the same thing on the other side as well. So once you're done with that, you can proceed to creating 2 holes at the front of your pant. So these holes will serve as the entrance for your rope, your waist rope for adjustment. So here's the final look of what we just created. You can see that it is actually very easy to achieve. There is really no big deal about it. Once you follow the steps accordingly, you're going to get the same results. So if you watch this video till this point, this is me saying you are the real G. Thank you so much. Please do not forget to like this particular video, comment and share to your loved ones, and I'll see you again in the next class. Bye.